good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are. Remember, you have greatness inside of you. Welcome back to a special video of the Hockey Nation Show with hockey coach Guru Frenchy. Today, I want to give you some update about the Montreal Canadiens, about French situation, the Norlinder, the candidate for the GM will maybe announce next month, the injuries, who is not going to return next season. And I'm going to talk also about the improvement of Alexander Romanov. Don't go nowhere. I'm going to give you all those information in the next couple of minutes. But before we start, you know that. Don't forget, please, to subscribe to the Hockey Nation Live Show on the YouTube channel and our Facebook page. Of course, if you enjoyed this video, please click on the likes. That will helping us to grow. And finally, tell us what you think about my update about the Montreal Canadiens. So don't hesitate to tell me what are your comments about this video. So let's dive in talking about the Montreal Canadiens. Like I mentioned to you earlier, I'm going to give you some information like right now their record is 6-20 in third. They are at the bottom of the Atlantic Division, and also they are number 31 in the ranking in NHL at that moment. I want to talk about Alexander Romanov's season with the Montreal Canadiens, not only this season but also last season. I want to talk about the Mathieu Norlinder situation where it's going to be really important for Montreal to take a decision this week. Not return next year. What are you talking about? Who is not returning, I believe, are not going to be start the season 22 and 23 with the Montreal Canadiens. And finally, who I believe are the top candidate GM or people hear more about them. And so let's dive in and talking about the Alexander Romanov, the most improvement player for me for the Montreal Canadiens this season. If I compare from last season, we know already what Rand Poland does so far, right? He was an American Hockey League player with Montreal, looking a little bit better. But for me, is the development of Alexander Romanov. Guys, really impressive for what I saw this season, the Romanov. He is playing right now on the third pair defense with the Montreal Canadiens. Most of the time, he played with Kolak or Chris Whiteman. He's played in a 3-zone. I'm going to talk a little bit more about what he does on the defensive side, on the neutral zone, and also on the offensive side. Let's dive in with a little bit more information you need to know. So let's start with Romanov. Listen, guys. Today, this morning, he's already played a full year. What are you talking about, coach? Yesterday, when he played against the St. Louis Blues, was his 82 game in NHL. So that's complete him a full year in NHL. His stat for 82 game are 3 goals, 8 assists, 11 points with a -3. He has a 39-minute penalty of about 3 fights in NHL. He has also 104 shots. He has an average of 17.33 minutes in NHL. That's pretty much what he got so far. Also, he start on the offensive side, usually 56.7 of his shift in NHL so far. So this year, he has 2 goals, 3 assists, 5 points, -4. And you can see he improved maybe almost like 1 minute per game. His TOI on the ice. So I can see a little bit better from Alexander Romanov. Let's dive in now, guys, on his team game log. What are you talking about? This is his game this season in NHL. 1 by 1, you can see each game. It can take a little bit of time. But what I want you to focus, guys, is his time this year, play sometime more at plus or 20 minutes per game on many occasions. That's a great thing. The last 2 games, guys, 5 hit against Chicago, is 6 hit yesterday against the Blues. More involved, more intense, more physical during his game, and it's something we want to him to do that. He has also scored a goal yesterday, his second goal of the season with the Abs. But again, for me, as I can see a new Alexander Romanov for the Montreal Canadiens. Sometimes I would like him to be more on the second pair of defense. I know sometimes they shift him third, second, and first for different impact for the team. Cham did. But for me at that moment, as the third defenseman, he played a solid game on the PK, also on the special team, and also during he played 5 versus 5. So you can take a time to watching his information about on each categories. But I want to bring to you a couple of statistics. It's really important for me. Is that this is a projection of 3 years with Alexander Romanov. I can disappear myself right now for this one. Give you an idea. His offensive is 46. Defensive 17, goal per 60 minutes 23, 3 right now on the primary assist, penalty draw 73%, finishing is 14, and also overall is 28. What is all those stats? Let's give him an about what he does on each side of the game, offensive side, defensive side. But what I want you to bring to you is this part, is the next 2 graphics here. Now he's a coach. Look, the 2021-2022, it's friends about 21-22 versus the 2020-2021. I understand that we have right now 54 games versus 26, so the number on the offensive, defensive transition is going to increase with time. Do not worry about that. But I want to talk about the different details of the game compared to how he improved his game, all right? And also, this right side, you see the 24, 17, 44, not include his goal yesterday. So the number is going to be a little bit better with time. Shot contribution, 69, is still at 60. At 58, is going to be a little bit better. But look, the shooting. Shoot more, 40 versus 34. His passing, 48 versus 32. This year, he does almost not play on power play. The PK guy, 29. Look, 97. That's why he's changing his game with the Montreal Canadiens. His role difficulty with the team now, 34 versus 27. Another improvement. Look, it's Daniel, 56 versus 8. That's another thing, right? The blade driving. The only thing I would say is a little bit changing is the puck carry-on. He dropped less the puck carry-on. His entry with the puck is a little bit more less. He take a little bit more less chance about that one over there. But what we like about this is high danger assist is increasing. Look, 84 to 28. We love that one over there. And also, one thing I would say to you is position exit have to be a little bit more better. But he still carry on the puck. I like what I saw from him at that moment. Let me back here because I feel like I'm better to talk to you that way. So look, for me, what I see for Romanov, guys, is better aware on the defensive side. Is less commit mistake on the defensive side. Bad decision last year he did constantly. That's not exist anymore. He did 2 games, not the last game, but the game prior. Understand, but he's more aware on his defensive side, more aware where the play develop, more aware how he read the play on the defensive side. So that's what I like from him. His passing from the defensive side on the transition or on breakout are better. This is another place for him. On the only thing I would say is game on the neutral zone. All right, you have 2 ways you can see this: the defensive side and offensive side. On the offensive side, he should carry on a little bit more the puck. But because he hit a lot on the defensive side, I did not mention to you, his physical winning battle on the defensive side is good also. But because he's deep in the zone, right, he's not carrying enough the puck, and that's the reason why compared from last season. The second thing he does well on the neutral zone is cap control is better also this year compared to the year before. Finally, on the offensive side, all right, you can see he pinch a lot more. He's more intense on the offensive side. He read better. He have 2 goals this season. He is more involved on the offensive side where he will go behind the goaltender sometimes. You can see in the shot, he see the back door more. So you can see a Romanov confidence. You can see Romanov more physical. You can see a Romanov more aware of what's going on the ice. You can see a Romanov more improvement, maybe the best for the Montreal Canadiens this season. I'm really proud. I'm really impressed by the play of Alexander Romanov. I believe right now, I'll be honest with you, he will become a top 4 in Montreal Canadiens, and we'll see how this improvement can be better and better and better. So this is a great, great pick, the 38th overall pick by the Montreal Canadiens, Romanov. Let's move on now. The one thing where I feel a little bit strange about that one over there. We talk about the development about Romanov, but the one reason they complained, guys, about Bergevin, it was the development of players, right? The fact that Kotkaniemi never reached his full potential, everything like that, and they let him on the stand, they not dress him, and they play like a yo-yo, whatever the comments was. What I give you one out today is the Mathieu Norlinder situation. You have a different rule you have to understand when you have a contract in Sweden, a contract in Montreal, and with NHL. If you are, the contract changed at the December 1st. Before and after. Let's go before. If Montreal decide to not keep him in Montreal, he returned in Sweden, he had no problem. Because he got hurt, he got pushing back. Then he have a right to go on the loan and conditioning for 1 week with Laval before he come back Montreal. All good. Now we pass the December 1st. He get there. Now the rule change. You don't necessarily at that moment to return him in Sweden. You can drop him in Laval or you can keep him in Montreal. The agreement they have with the agent, Montreal Canadiens and Norlinder, is let him go down 3 games and reevaluate his situation after 3 games, and then go take a decision. Today, the time I'm doing this video, he played his last game, the 3 game with the Laval Rocket. He played 2 solid games. The last 2, he scored 1 goal. He played well. The second game on -1, but the team lost. But he does a lot of minutes, play on power play, unit 1. He scored on power play goal, and he's doing well over there. But now this over tonight. What the Montreal Canadiens to do? He wants to return home. Can Montreal let him accept his demand to go back home? Sweden for Lunda on number 1 over there. He's going to play on the top pair defenseman with Edvinsson. Is it better for him to go back home? Is it better for Montreal to develop him in Laval to get a lot a minute? Is it better for him to stay with Montreal Canadiens, and if Montreal can play him 20 minutes per game? Those questions, I don't know. What I know is this. Montreal cannot losing him with confidence and screw another players for development because they cannot develop the players properly. And that's what I'm concerned about the Montreal Canadiens. We have Jordan Harris right now waiting to sign his contract, want to play for the Montreal Canadiens right now with Northeastern, captain over there, and he look everything right now. He can sign with anybody else after August this season. And right now, this Norlinder situation could be a big major key, not only for Norlinder's career, but also about Jordan Harris. My point to you, guys, I don't know the answer, honestly, but what I know is this part. Whatever Montreal decide, he need to play, he need to be on the ice. Laval, Sweden, whatever it is, Montreal. But this kid need to be on the ice. He's an amazing, great defenseman. He could become the number 2. What Jeff Petrie does with Montreal, like categories like number 2, Norlinder can be that kind of play the role. We have Romanov can be number 3, guys. We have Kaden Cooley is coming. We have Phil Brother is growing. We have Jordan Harris if he signed. And you have Jack right now in OHL, a tough kid right now, suspended indefinitely because of fight, right? And then you have other Starball and back over there. And Montreal have a lot of prospect, and the back end can become great in NHL. So my point to you is a really important Montreal, what you're going to do with Norlinder. And that's the last update we have about Mathieu Norlinder. Let's dive in about the next thing about this. They're not returning next season. Chariot, UFA, is going to be traded at some point for the deadline. Why? Because Montreal can get a first-round pick, I believe, about him over there. Kulak, 4 years with the Montreal Canadiens. He's become a UFA. He's at $1.8 million. He's at the bottom 6 for the Montreal right now, right? And you have other young prospects coming. It's not going to be important to keep Kulak for next season. Can have maybe a trade for him, maybe a third or a 4th round pick, an extra pick, I believe, for the Montreal Canadiens for Kulak. Now, the situation for the players like veterans, they signed this year for the Montreal for 1 year only at less than $1 million, where Whiteman, Paquette, Perreault, most of them are at 28, 30, 32 years old. Those three, I would not be surprised they not return with Montreal Canadiens. Maybe one of them, I don't know, but I don't see Paquette, Whiteman to come back. Perreault could be something, back if you want to come back here for one. But Perreault could be a good top pick to get at some point at the trade deadline for a team need bottom 6 over there. So it'll be interesting if Montreal can trade him. I don't feel Toffoli, Hoffman. Wait a minute, coach. No, not both of them. One of the two is going to be maybe trade. I don't know which one of them. Why, coach? You still have 2 more years of the contract. Both of them carry on a contract at $4 million. Montreal's getting to have more winger at that moment. And I feel with more open up their spot like Poland, everybody else, I think one of two, when they'll be surprised they can trade. Which one? I'm not sure. Now, Toffoli is out for 8 weeks. Could be a problem at the trade deadline. Hoffman, because he's a snapper, good on power play, he can consistently score. I believe Hoffman could be traded. He carry on a less contract, at less of $5 million. He could be an important role at some point, and I don't be surprised he's not returned with Montreal. Price or Allen or both? Allen is not happy about him right now. Allen is tired. Allen is not like what's going on right now. He does the best he can right now, but the Montreal cannot score, and he's getting more frustrated. You can see after his press conference yesterday. I don't know what happened with him. He has a contract at $2.8 million. He has 1 more year to go after the upcoming season. I'm not sure about this. Carey Price has another big, mega situation for him. For first, his speed, his recovery, his illness, right? That's the 2 key we need to figure out about that one over there. Can he be traded at the deadline this year? I'll be shocked. But he could be traded during the summer. You trade him, you get what in return? A 1st round pick, a prospect, and possible another players with that part over there. And you have to keep some money. $3, $4, $5 million. That's good possible. 4 more years to go after the next year. After that, at $10.5 million, a team like Colorado and Edmonton could be interesting to get Carey Price. That's something you have to follow up. Finally, Lehkonen. Lehkonen have 1 more year after next year. Not this season, next year. That's his last RFA, become a UFA. He's going to shoot about $3 million at that moment. And I think it could be trade bottom, like a player like him could be really interesting. But again, I believe also, for me, I would keep, if I was the Montreal Canadiens, I love Lehkonen. Obviously, Montreal gave a gift to Armia at $3.4 million for 4 years. That's too much money for what I believe. For me, I will trade Armia, but because the money he makes, that would be very difficult. Finally, yes, he's out. Dominic Charm, no reason to stay behind the bench right now. He's what? 19-36-10, I believe, is record behind the bench for the Montreal Canadiens. Is going to be worse and worse. And this is going to be a new code for the Montreal Canadiens. Finally, finish this video for what we believe is going to be the candidate for the GM. We talk about Pat Brisson as an agent right now, could become this GM. We talk about Ken Hughes, another agent in NHL, speak French. All those 5 players I'm talking about. Earlier, we talked about MATHIEU DARCHE, Daniel Briere, and then we talk about Patrick Roy. Do we have other candidates? That's the biggest question we don't know yet. What Jeff Gordon is going to do? One thing I know, he bring Bob Gainey and the group of the people maybe take decision about the new GM. He's always been a little bit that way. Remember when Sacha was helping Molson to select Marc Bergevin. Now Jeff Gordon asked Bob Gainey to join Molson and him to select the new GM. You have other people? I don't know. Can Patrice Brisebois could be another one over there? What's going to be the role of now the Bouillon, Rob Ramage, and also Martin Lapointe inside that organization? We don't know yet. It always those until they not name the GM. They cannot select a director of scouting, I believe, at that moment. So really interesting what's going to be for the next couple of weeks for Jeff Gordon to select his new GM for the Montreal Canadiens for the upcoming season. Guys, this was a quick video about update. I know sometimes I do review for the Montreal Canadiens about the winning, losing, but I think it's very important to talk about different other subjects. I like to do that kind of video for you guys. I would do more for the Montreal Canadiens the next couple weeks. So thanks again for watching another great video with the hockey coach guru called Frenchy for the Hockey Nation Live show. But before we leave, we want to remind you, subscribe, likes, and tell us what you think about the video. And of course, you have greatness inside of you. Mes amis, je vous souhaite une très belle semaine et merci d'avoir regardé une autre vidéo avec l'entraîneur Coach Frenchy. Je vous demande de vous abonner si vous voulez bien et certainement si vous avez aimé la vidéo, cliquez sur le petit pouce en haut. Je vous souhaite une très belle journée mes amis, on se revoit un peu plus tard.